get through a Scion, but because you're stealing all those stats, now you're actually fine to go for that pick because that Scion is significantly less tankier and it offers you a bunch of safety into things like the Jarvan. Plus, Supa's just been a fantastic Ezreal when he's been able to play it, but it looks like it is going to be the Corki, the lane neutralizer instead.
Yeah, you don't want Jarvan to have too many immobile carries to go after, so they get the extra dash here with the Corki, and his toe is probably going to be looking towards Orianna to try and pressure, burn his flash as much as possible. Meanwhile, Dire, here we go. The final counter pick into the mid lane, into the Orianna that they gave over. We were suspecting the Galio. You know, it is his most played, was his most played for summer. They are going to lock it in, and that is going to put a lot of pressure on Eddie to be the carry. That is the damage source. This is 4 beef balls and Yunara.
And the question for MKOI is, can they get through those beef balls quickly enough? Or can they perhaps find a way onto the backline? If that Mbessa finds a good ult onto the Yunara, it's very tricky for her to survive through the burst. But you do have enough disengage with the Alistar, with the Galio, with the Jarvan who can jump onto MKOI. For Team Secret Wales, front to back is all they really want to do here. MKOI, relatively similar, in all honesty. They don't have the easiest ball delivery system either, really relying on that Mbessa.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's going to be, trying to find flanks, trying to use the terrain creation that you have on MKOI to force Team Secret Wales into uncomfortable spots that opens up for Mirren in those flank chances. And the second Mbessa actually locks you up, that's when you can just command protect and get that quick shockwave. So definitely you can find Eddie in these fights. That can be the key to victory here for MKOI. But again, I am kind of nervous for them on just that early skirmish power that is coming out from Team Secret Wales. This Jarvan Galio combo on Invade post level 6 is so devastating for this Trundle if you don't have flash.
It really is. Team Secret Wales here trying to prove that the LCP is not just a one-team region. It is not only about the Flying Oysters, but the Whales alongside them, trying to carry themselves through to that 2-2 spot. For MKOI, looking for redemption against the LCP and at Worlds. Like, Mad Lions at Worlds was a meme for a very long time in the European region, and over the last 3 series, MKOI or Mad Lions, KOI have played up against the LCP. They have been on the losing side.
Yeah, a lot here on the Team Secret Wales shoulders. Not only are they a representative of the LCP, but they're an entirely Vietnamese team, and Vietnam has such a huge fan base for League of Legends, a huge player base. And this team being the youngest team at the entire tournament, there is a lot of pressure on their shoulders.
And does oftentimes represent that new hope for Vietnam, especially as you see guys like Kiaya and Levi, who have been around for quite a while, and on GAM, that has been the team that tends to represent Vietnam at a lot of these internationals. It's now this new blood that is coming in and has taken down GAM to get here, which makes them so exciting for so many Vietnamese fans.
It's kind of the new blood with the old heads. Taki, the only player on this team that has been to Worlds before, all the way back in 2022, where Elioya beat him in play-ins to have a face-off against Evil Geniuses, where Jojo beat him to make it into the main stage. It's a long time ago that we saw Jojo and Taki back on this world stage, and here they are facing off in an elimination series again.
Yeah, Jojo joining forces now with Elioya, and to great effect. And that is one of the combinations that we will be looking at pretty heavily in this game. You just saw the Aegis pop up there. If you're looking at the jungle and mid lane matchup, as we actually see bottom lane with a decent trade there. But the jungle mid lane matchup, you know, those are the 2 youngest players at the tournament on the side of Team Secret Wales going against Elioya and Jojo. So we'll see if the Jarvan can put the expected pressure on Orianna. You know, we're expecting from draft Jarvan and Galio, very, very CC heavy combinations. And Jojo has always been one of our strongest laners in the West. Even when he was in the LCS, he plays very aggressively. He tries to trade on you whenever you go for CS. And in Orianna versus Galio matchup, you're always trying to put a lot of pressure, go for health trades, and try and push them out.
Yeah, try to use that clockwork wind-up passive as well, getting the consecutive auto attacks on a single target, doing more damage for each auto attack. So he's stepping past the wave, using Command Protect to eat the Winds of War and not actually have his health bar be lowered. Both the junglers passing down towards the bottom side. Histo here already on his blue and his Gromp, whereas Elioya is just moving away from his red. Consistent trades in the bottom lane as well, with Alvaro using that heal earlier on.
I do think Histo has to be a little bit careful pre-level 6 though, because if you end up jumping in onto with the Flaggy Drag to the Trundle, it then opens up very quickly for Elioya to turn a bunch of damage back around, have that Trundle pillar to just make your life really uncomfortable in trying to escape. Post 6 becomes a little bit easier because you tend to have the Cataclysm and the Galio to follow, which is why MCoy now trying to go for these kind of cheeky invades and get the control down for Elioya so he can enable the favorable matchup in the early stages.
Histo skipping a Scuttlecraft for a gank in the mid lane. Jojo's going to have to flash away from the Justice Punch. Histo just has a little bit of a drive-by, autos one of the minions. Elioya is leaving the bot side Scuttlecraft to go and try and fight towards the top side. Alvaro trading in here with the Unbreakable. There's the stun onto Taki. Taki pops the heal afterwards though, and Super's down to half HP. Concussive blows almost procced as Histo dives in. Elioya looking for the trade onto him. Chomp, chomp, chomp goes the Trundle. Dyer stepping forward down to 200. Gets the taunt, but gets smacked across the head with a club. Histo almost escapes, but the red's enough for Elioya. A double for the troll.
Oh, Elioya, that pillar was beautiful. He pillared the Justice Punch there, completely stuffed Dyer's Galio, and then just wins the 2v2. Okay, Trundle doesn't have like crazy mechanics, but that was a really good Trundle play right there.
He does have one mechanic. It's going well with Taki, the bottom side now.
Flash away the Gatling gun though, hitting him in the bush, and Super gets the third on the board for MCoy.
It's going off for MCoy across the map. 2 kills onto this Trundle in the early stages, and now the kill for Supa in this bottom lane. Team Secret Wales are not enjoying the start of this.
Chomp, chomp, chomp. Elioya will be fed, and that spells danger. He has gone all of the offensive components early of the Trinity Force. Was able to get full sheen and everything. And honestly, it started out with a good timing for Team Secret Wales. You know, they saw Elioya on the ward there. You can see in River that is still existing on the bottom side. But then they stick around and they're on vision as well. So Elioya takes this fight. He likes it. Starts out with the chomp fight with Jarvan. He knows Galio is going to come over and try and, combine with the fight. And so he times his pillar perfectly, expecting the play, and then just completely brutalizes them, even gets off the last bit of damage.
I think for Team Secret Wales, you're looking at Jojo in that situation saying he's got no mana. He's got one command attack. It's basically a 2v1 for us, but not realizing that Trundle often wins those.
Yeah, Trundle likes those odds.
Yeah.
And also just Clockwork Wind-Up does do so much damage. So despite the Orianna having no actual mana left, she was fine to just go for the play. And now MCoy in a fantastic position, especially as Elioya has been accelerated. He's now in a position that every time Histo tries to go for plays, like he might be looking for on that bottom side of the map, that's where, again, you can have Elioya match and constantly win out. And it just makes this game really uncomfortable now for Histo.
Yeah. When Trundle gets ahead and the opponent team is 4 melees, then you are in trouble. Trundle can really, really thrive against a lot of these beef balls. So.
At least he doesn't have something like a Scion in the top lane to steal all those really tanky stats to make him really survivable.
Or something like a Braum to help him get concussive blows on multiple people in a short-range fight. Elioya here shadowing his bot side as they push in the wave. That means they'll go for the dragon. Team Secret Wales on that back foot. Don't expect them to contest this. They know they're not able to get into the driver's seat right now, as MCoy will start up the Drake. It's a little bit of a move from Dyer. Histo is on his way across as well. Taki looking for the engage here as the Arc of Judgment comes out from Eddie for a little bit of a slurkle. Hero's entrance onto the back line. Elioya doesn't have flash and he's alone in the back of the pit. The exhaust on Dyer is enough though. Shockwave coming out is going to catch up to Taki. Elioya already down as they look for a bit more of a trade, but Alvaro is now stuck by himself in the pit. Another slurkle, a flash from Eddie. It's going to be 2 for the Wales.
The best part about Team Secret Wales, they do not sit on losses. They will fight their way out, and they're still fighting.
Super in the shop instead of watching his screen as Histo collapses on him, stops his reset, but Super underneath the tower here should be able to go away. Histo looking for the flag and drag. He gets him, he gets the shield, and he gets out. Beautiful from Team Secret Wales.
That was so well played by Histo, knowing he had the damage, Super not respecting it, and Histo hits level 6 off of it as well, so even if Jojo tried to help him, he'd only be giving him a way out with the Cataclysm.
And he got a quick recall off there. He didn't go into the vision of the ward that was behind red buff. So he even gets out in a pretty timely manner. See, never give up on the plays. Really good contest there from TSW, even though they're going to lose the Dragon, still contesting afterwards to chase down the kills.
In the Vietnamese community, in the LCP community, there is a saying about Team Secret Wales. I'll tell you after this fight.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the overextension coming through from MKOI. They get the Dragon, and they think, okay, we can try and take the fight, but because you get the Galio sent into the backline, Elyoya is completely separated from the rest of the team. Taki and Histo were able to shove Supa away, who actually ends up CC for quite a while in the middle of this fight, and it's Eddie who's just fine in that backline to deal with Elyoya, flashes over for Alvaro, and sets up perfectly now where he's got some of the kills that were necessary for this composition to work.
And this from Histo as well, just chasing afterwards. As soon as you see Supa go round this corner, you're kind of like, okay, he's Valkyrie'd out, he's out. Histo so willing to go for more of the fight, even without his Cataclysm.
Yeah, ward's over, gets a confirmation of the vision, EQs in, nobody punishes, and looks like he gets out of Grubs as well with 2 of them in tow, so they get the objective credit. In addition, they were the first ones to the MKOI was actually the first ones to the first 3 kills, so they have that feats credit.
That they do. We'll be fighting over the next couple of objectives for these teams, or the first tower for MKOI if they're able to secure that. I was saying the saying in the Vietnamese community about Team Secret Wales is Alvaro looks for Taki here. As Taki flashes in immediately for the engage, Histo is coming around the corner looking for the follow-up. Super locked up, there's the Cataclysm. Lock him in the cage, it's 1, they're looking for 2. Alvaro has no escape, and Eddie is shredding MKOI.
Taki and Histo finding the combo they need to lock down Supa and Alvaro, and what started off so well for MKOI has already started to slip completely out of their grasp.
If you are playing a 1-threat comp, you want the kills on that 1 threat. Eddie here does have the Kraken Slayer completed now on the Yunar after that 2nd kill. Histo also is going to be a threat though. The Jarvan's getting a lot of these kills and did get one of the earlier shutdowns as well.
This was just great from Taki. Spots Supa, immediately flashes forward, gets the pulverize into the head push, and they're trying to help out here by getting the stun on towards Eddie, but it's just too late. Histo's like, I'm in, I'm Superman, I'm taking down the plane.
And we promised action between these 2 teams, and we are definitely getting it. Almost a kill a minute so far in this early game. Taki level 6, Alvaro not yet across towards that ultimate mark. And Supa and Alvaro have to be a little bit cautious because Histo's in the area. Jojo, he's been a little bit involved, but mostly all's been quiet in this mid lane, and because of that, he's built up a 30 CS lead. But the lead is not as great as Eddie's over Supa. That's a 1,000 gold lead in the bot lane.
And you've got more to come as well. That cull that you so often pick up on the Yunara because of the synergies is going to end up popping, which is only going to snowball him as well. It becomes very difficult now for Supa and Alvaro to contest the wave states, as you can see. And this means you're going to start to put pressure on towards turret plates, and these observers feel like they're toying with us. I think Histo's here.
Histo going in with a flag and drag once again. Glacial Fissure out from Alvaro, stands beside his teammate while the public execution goes down in the top side. Alvaro's going to fall. Mirwin look for the damage onto Pun because Elyoya's in the area. Does have that subjugate. They're waiting for the wave to crash in here. Supa has to back away from the bot side. Meanwhile, on the top side, MKOI decide they're not going to go for the dive. So for Team Secret Wales, a great exchange.
Huge stuff from Histo this game. You know, after the failure in the 2v2 mid, thought it was going to be very difficult for him to get back into this game, but constant fighting and chasing down these kills, this Jarvan is truly getting fed. Actually has overtaken the early lead that Elyoya built up.
But that's the thing, it feels like when it comes to Team Secret Wales, they never give up. They will always keep chasing, they'll always find their fights.
And that's the saying that they know, that they use in the Vietnamese community is how we win. I'm not going to say it in Vietnamese because my pronunciation would be awful, but the idea is Team Secret Wales can be 10,000 gold behind and somehow still find a win, and they can be 10,000 gold ahead and somehow still find a loss, as Pun is caught out here with the shockwave, should be able to walk away from Jojo Pun. No real follow-up from the rest of the team. A command attack won't be enough even with that clockwork wind-up auto attack, and Pun just walks it out.
Also, even though Jarvan has been the target of a lot of scrutiny at this World Championship, Histo was one of the successful ones. Yep. Even though they lost to KT, he still had some very good Jarvan plays in that game, and certainly has had some in this game. So Dragon will be collected for their side with their margin of gold lead, but we'll see about the payment on the other side because MKOI want to dive.
Yeah, they're going to go underneath the tower here.
Dragon exchanged for Team Secret Wales. Pun flashing away there. Elyoya, Yeah, you know, you pop the subjugate, you get a couple of plates. MKOI will be happy enough with that. They were trying to find something on the other side of the map, knowing that Team Secret Wales had their jungler down towards the bottom side. Meerwin here trying to steal away these Krugs, but really more of a nuisance to his toe than anything else.
I mean, you're going to be delighted with that as Team Secret Wales. You managed to steal away a little bit of the camps. You don't end up with your top laner getting dove, and you're getting to zone Meerwin off of this bot lane turret. And coming back to what Kobe was saying yesterday on the desk, like, these are the kind of styles where Jarvan can succeed because you've got an immobile Orianna on the other side that you can look to focus down, because you've got that added pressure from the Galio that can come over the top. This is where this game, sure, you've got great scaling, but
Eddie just going in, pops the ultimate, and Super's just dead! Eddie on a killing spree, 3-0-3.
When will people learn you can't approach Yunara? As soon as she gets the Kraken Slayer, she is so strong, and they are not scared of popping that ultimate to chase you down.
Yeah, respect to the Q charge up there. I mean, he just absolutely destroys him. Supa as well, blowing the flash on top of it. Going down is one thing, but going down and losing the summoner spell, you mentioned it, they could target Orianna. Now there's no flash on the Corki, so all you really have is the Valk, and Jarvan plus Galio plus Alistar, they will be coming for your head.
Plus Sion, he's looking for the chase as well, as it's going to be really tricky for Super to survive a next team fight. The good thing for him is there's still a minute before the Rift Herald, and MKOI could decide to give that up if they wanted. After that, the next neutral objective is that Cloud Drake coming up in 3 minutes' time.
So I also have noticed in some moments, Eddie does have pretty strong hubris. Like, he is one of the 80 carries that when he's feeling it, he is really feeling it. And we did have the one play, you know, where he hits Kai'Sa W and he's like, well, I don't have vision of everybody else, but I'll still go in. So he has to be a little bit careful because he is the entire team's damage, basically. Yes, especially in the early game, you know, there's a lot of base damages on all the other meatballs and stuff, but he has to be more careful with this lead that he does have.
I 100% agree, but I think at least the saving grace for him is like JoJo going a pretty defensive build with the Rod of Ages, so not going to be that big explosive damage that you get from something like the Hextech Gunblade. He's more got to worry about like Meerwin having access to the back line, and in theory, as long as Taki has that exhaust ready on the Unsealed Spellbook, should be able to survive in some of these fights.
Yeah, and in this type of game, when you are playing with 4 peelers, you got to trust your team. Eddie has to trust in his team. Hey, I'm going to go full offensive. You guys, it's on you guys to peel for me. It's on you guys to keep me up. Yeah. Plus, if my AD carry is that far ahead, I kind of want him to go for some, you know, crazy offensive stuff.
Step up, Ian. Look for the fights wherever you can. Pillar down here by Elyoya as Daya uses that taunt just to walk his way away. The good thing for Eddie as well is there's minimal engage on MKOI, right? If you're surviving through the public execution, there's no follow-up really after that. You have a Braum jumping in, maybe a Shockwave, but you guys already talked about how low damage this Orianna is in the early game. Herald started by MKOI as Histo walks across from the side. Herald down to about 5,000. Taki gets a knock-up on both. Alvaro jumped on Super trying to get away, but he's dead where he stands. Alvaro in that redemption. Herald still the target. Elyoya will smite it and secure it. Now needs to get out of the back of the pit. Does have the flash, but he's knocked up. Will flash into the Tribush. Histo still on the chase with Eddie diving in. It's another, but Eddie as MKOI are rattled.
Histo and Eddie are just the Bash brothers in this game, destroying MKOI. I mean, yeah, they lost the Rift Herald, but they're going to chase down even more kills.
Dive in, Histo with the flag and drag. Alvaro able to stand beside his teammate. Taki goes in with the knock-up, Unbreakable down as well. They still have the Shockwave, but Eddie finds another. JoJo dies where he stands, gets one in response, but Team Secret Wales are ruling the Rift.
Taki with the honorable death there sets up Team Secret Wales for more kills for the tower. And this game started off with MKOI 3-0, and Team Secret Wales are completely blowing through them.
Put some respect on Vietnam. Let's take a look at this one. Again, the bottom of your screen, Histo and Eddie absolutely demolish them. In goes Alistar, Taki sets it up, and Supa just gets annihilated. Nowhere for him to go, even got exhausted. The Galio ultimate was just even unnecessary. By that time, they had already destroyed him, but they could continue the steamroll.
Yeah, I mean, it was for stall points in the Galio ults, and it's Eddie who's looking so clean on the back of this, flashing over to finish off the kills. And again now, this Yunara is massive. 5-0-5, already 2 items deep. Like, this is going to be so difficult for MKOI to try and deal with.
I will say, we'll keep track if the flash, on Yunara does get punished, not having that one for later. But honestly, I like it. Go with the hype. Continue to push for these extra kills and snowball the lead. They're even going to get some outer towers in trade. Dragon as well should be picked up. I'm thinking that Pun is going to be able to defend this for a while on the top side, but all the rest of MKOI can go make the cross-map play, and especially as Trundle's coming over, they will shred through him.
Yeah, they do need Supa up here, and he's on the way, so I think maybe this could be it for Pun. TP though.
Shockwave to save the way from the decimating smash. TP coming out, Pun flashing underneath the tower, and will be bolstered by the defenses of Dire.
Nice, crop mat defense here from Team Secret Whales. They're still going to get the Dragon, but invest a teleport here to keep the tower alive for now.
Going back in here with the taunt. The chase continues for Alvaro and JoJoPyun, but they won't be able to find too much. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Supa is surrounded by Taki and Eddie. We're looking for Elioya on this blue buff. Taki with a headbutt pulverize once again. Eddie puts the damage down. Won't have enough to work his way through his Trundle quite yet. And Supa looks for a bit of a collapse. With Histo moving across, it will be dangerous for MKOI to take this fight.
Yeah, you don't even have to get a kill. It's just about pushing MKOI back right now. You push in top side. You have the potential here to shift over towards mid lane if you want to. Histo stole the Raptor camp and now the blue camp on the top side. Team Secret Whales are dictating everything on this map right now.
And their timers are going to be pretty straightforward. This team is all about, going for the objectives, trying to draw you to them. This team is obviously not built to siege, straight up siege, so they want to draw MKOI out to these fights where they can make use of their heavy engage and create that space for Eddie to win these team fights. So the Dragon stacking is imperative that they keep it up for Team Secret Whales in order to find that path to victory.
MKOI left reeling through this early game, 19 minutes in, 4,000 gold behind, and the majority of that sits on Eddie's shoulders. 2 items already complete, has the upgraded plated steel caps as well, just from those feats of strength. And for MKOI, you're looking at it, you have a Rod of Ages at 7 stacks, you've got 2 Triforces, but no one really has a second item yet apart from JoJo with that Horizon focus. Histo waiting to see if someone comes to cover this top side. Won't find anyone for the moment.
Yeah, you really do need from MKOI side, like a big ultimate from Mirren followed by JoJoPyun to hopefully pick off Eddie, but Team Secret Whales aren't giving them a chance again. They're invading on this top side, just keeping MKOI back underneath their own towers and allowing them this swift movement through this topside jungle. I'd love to see Team Secret Whales try and shift that pressure in towards a mid lane tower take or trying to zone MKOI away from it, but it is difficult at the moment with that Cloud Soul being able to allow MKOI to shift just as quickly back and forth.
Taki caught out as the rest of his team backs. He's going to pop that Unbreakable Wing, goes in with a headbutt pulverize. Eddie trying to come in from the side as well. Supa needs that Redemption Cataclysm flashed away from as the Hero's entrance comes down. Mirwin flashing away from his own TP. Pun now on the front line, jumps straight into Alvaro, who's trying to protect his Ambessa. The concussive blows, the Shockwave finds 3. JoJo trying to turn Team Secret Whales into poutine, but he can't quite do it. Pun falls, 2 for JoJo now as Supa walks underneath his tower and does manage to get away. Meanwhile on the top side, Arakan, MKOI's next prize.
MKOI finally found the fight that they needed. The fact that Alvaro ends up jumping over the wall back into the Ambessa and Histo swaps places means that they're able to find the fight they need, at least get something back for themselves.
The Otacon call slightly hasty from me with the jungler still alive. Histo staying around Mirwin. Trying to walk through the darkness here, make sure those recalls go off before he comes out. Mirwin might know, but doesn't quite get the auto attack down in time. Eddie escapes.
Is going to be interesting too because they got some money off this fight, of course, for MKOI, but critically they also got both summoner spells off the Yunara. So look at the re-engage here. Braum on the front lines gets the Unbreakable up and gets the heal off. Here goes Ambessa ultimate over the top after they had already taken down the front line.
And crucially, as you say, Eddie getting that flash means that he's able to escape away, but MKOI more than happy to find that fight. And again, it was just that overextension being punished from Team Secret Whales.
And we're going to start to see JoJo really carry some weight here. That Orianna Shockwave already doing some heavy lifting. He has the Horizon focus done plus the Blighting Jewel, so creating some of the magic penetration. And the Rod of Ages has fully stacked, so the full value is here with the extra level. And he's really into that Orianna power curve that everyone knows and respects at the current World Championship. Like, this champion is early picked for a reason.
And alongside Mirren, who hasn't really been a part of much, but has been able to get a nice little gold lead for himself when it comes to the CES, is in a good spot. Like 2 items now complete on the Mbessa. If you can find that combo to lock down Eddie and work in conjunction with Jojo, I think you still have a chance here as MKOI. But as you can see, like, that was Team Secret Wales on an overextension. Eddie is still in a very good spot to carry, and if you can slow the pace of this game down until Eddie gets those summoner spells back up, you're in a decent spot for Team Secret Wales.
And another interesting consequence of the team comp that TSW are running is that MKOI feel confident to have Jojo split pushing. So Jojo has really kept up his CS numbers. Yeah, he did have a pretty easy early lane into a Galio, but he's also kept up his 10 CS per minute with this Orianna, which is critical and leading to this large gold lead that he does have now on top of those kills, really making that big threat.
Especially if you can lane into Pun on this Sion. He's got basically no magic use. Just the Aegis sitting there, no Merc Treads as Mirwin's engaged on. Redemption coming out. Mirwin looking for the fight here onto his toe. Taki going in with a headbutt pulverize, and there's the TP follow-up. Mirwin was isolated from the rest of his team. Team Secret Wales turn their attentions towards the top side. Exhaust down onto Dire. Ball put in the middle of them, but no shockwave cord as of yet. Another Winter's Bite coming out from Alvaro just for the slow. MKOI want to fight this, but Taki's in prime position for this flank. Jojo will be able to spot him out with Elyoya. Taki goes in, but the rest of his team not on the same page. And Alistair ticking down, the missile just short of catching its backside. Pun now the target, stunned up with those concussive blows. Shockwave finds Eddie. Hero's entrance coming down for the magic damage shield as the chase continues. Jojo's going to kill off Pun, but he's going to use the zombie form to keep everyone else away from Elyoya. Elyoya falls. It's a great fight for Team Secret Wales.
Team Secret Wales are using the terrain so well in this fight, kiting back into that tri-brush so they can set up their front line. And Histo, maybe once more, he knows Supa's low, won't quite be able to find it though.
Yeah, zombie form value there as well. You know, this is one of the huge benefits of this champion. Pun creating so much space. And one of the unseen things with Jarvan as well, people often forget about the Q shredding armor. That plus the black cleaver, they're able to just melt through Elyoya. So we take another look. Taki goes in, gets chunked out, and even with the late Alistar ultimate there, he still survives running away from it. Then Pun on the front line, it's kind of the sacrifice with the Sion there, but it's okay because of the champion and the Galio ult still able to peel. See on the top side, Elyoya is getting shredded as Histo is able to shred the armor there, and the Yunara does take him down, but the zombie form kind of pushing all the rest of MKOI back.
And but you can see in the start of these engagements how dangerous that Team Secret Wales bounce house is. As soon as you get caught by one, it's knock up after knock up after knock up. So you have to be so careful on MKOI's side as to who is actually going to face check a lot of these brushes, because you don't actually have someone that's particularly tanky. Like your Braum has a redemption. Sure, he can throw up the shield, but he will get taken down. I think that's what Team Secret Wales are playing very well around, is looking for members of MKOI as they enter into the dark zones.
TSW now one Drake away from Soul as they take another Cloud. MKOI starting up the Artican. TP's coming out from
Going
Team
quick.
Secret Wales, as you say, going down quite quickly, but Histo is here. Alro gets the Winter's Bite. 5,000 now on the Artican. Pun with the Decimating Sparks just to force MKOI up towards this top side. Redemption coming out. Mirwin looking for a flank of his own. Eddie has his flash though, so it's going to be very difficult to get onto him. Unstoppable Onslaught used. Albo with Glacial Fissure. There's the Artican secured by Histo. Pun still on that front line, and MKOI all grouped up for the Cataclysm. And here comes your hero! Dire dives in, lands the taunt, and MKOI are shredded. Mirwin on the back line, but Team Secret Wales wrap around him like piranhas to get a couple more as the fight continues. Team Secret Wales able to back away with the Artican. It ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange. Just the supports going down. Looked like it could have been much more deadly for Team Secret Wales.
Honestly, it looked like a bit of an early redemption from Alvaro, maybe panic stations from MKOI as they try to find that fight, but Team Secret Wales, it's dire stock for them in this one because that Galio is making it tough for them.
And Team Secret Wales, they make the call, okay, we're going to create space to push them off Otacon so that Histo can get the objective first. Then we Sion ultimate in to create that space, push the 4 members of MKOI back, including Elyoya. Histo then burns the Otacon. They get the double knock-up on this group, and then watch Histo flash ulti into Flag and Drag out to try and keep them in the Galio ultimate. But even with that, the shockwave there from Jojo does peel for the team, and Mirwin on the Mbessa able to flash his way out to keep the casualties at 1-1, as you said.
And I love Eddie's position in that fight as well. Consistently staying on the top left part of the fight because he knows Mirren is on the bottom right, trying to keep away from that potential of the public execution. Maybe Jojo Pyun's ultimate can come in, but Team Secret Wales are playing so well around these multiple threats in the MKOI lineup.
And guess what? You know, even though they survived, now JoJo, no flash on the Orianna, so Histo can go for another play onto this Orianna. Galio plus Jarvan, incredibly threatening. And this Yunara, if the Yunara goes untouched, this is full crit Yunara looking at the big DPS scaling here for this champion through the clumped team fights.
Yeah, that Infinity Edge now complete. He's in such a strong position. Super struggling. Only has the Mana Moon, a Trinity Force, and a couple of swords to his name. Pun here stepping in, keeping Elyoya interested. Next Drake up in 2 minutes time, so still a while before that soul is available for TSW.
Still this mid lane turret stands though, and MKOI going to be kind of using that as that bastion to pivot off of for a lot of these plays. Like, it lets them play very far up to keep tabs on Baron, to keep tabs on the Dragon that you were just talking about, Medic, in 2 minutes time. And I think that's kind of where we see what has been some of the fall points of Team Secret Wales, the ability to close out a game, to push that game forward. And yes, they have a lead, and yes, that Dragon is going to be a big focal point for them, but I'm curious, can they find a way to close this game out clean?
Yeah, I think the mid game is really, really critical, especially for this team comp, because they have some big power spikes coming up. With Guardian Angel, if you can get Guardian Angel on Jarvan, it allows you to force so heavily on the fights that have big rewards. Cloud Soul, as well as Baron being available on the map. These are the points that Team Secret Wales really need to nail right now coming up to hammer this game home.
And on the flip side, if you give the chance for Jojo Pyun to finish off things like the Zhonya's Hourglass that I imagine he's working towards, suddenly that dive potential becomes a little bit less threatening. Not having a flash gives you a second lease of life. So I think that's where Team Secret Wales kind of need to keep the ball rolling in their favor. Not saying that they don't scale incredibly well, just MKOI have that burst potential, as you can see.
The damage onto Eddie, he turns it back onto Super. Valkyrie's in. Elyoya trading with Histo towards the top side, but it's a Randuin's Trinity Force Trundle, and that's not going to do too much work. Just trying to keep Histo at bay. 40 seconds before that Cloud Drake. Team Secret Wales just using their pressure to push in this mid wave. Obviously, they want the tower, and they should be able to get it. With super low, TSW push in and will crack through that mid tier 1.
All right, the moment of truth approaches. 25 seconds, and they're going for the resets. This means that Team Secret Wales will be a little bit slow to get to the actual Dragon fight. Allows MKOI some early movements. Maybe this is MKOI's chance if they get an early setup here and can try and take advantage of the staggered resets here from TSW.
Taki was reset twice, and he doesn't have any wards in his inventory.
He also just used his TP to get to that topside Atakan fight, so no TP available on the Unsealed Spellbook.
See MKOI taking their time to try and deny as much vision here as possible. Histo steps in, goes in with the Cataclysm, Unstoppable Onslaught, blocked by the walls. Jojo, though, caught out as Alvo tries to protect his mid laner. Hero's entrance in by Dio, TP behind them. The Shockwave not connecting as Team Secret Wales already found one in the fight. Histo looking for a little bit more. There's the second. Eddie's going to get a double. There's Soul for them, and probably Baron alongside it.
They win the critical fight here. TSW, they walk in, and they take everything from MKOI.
Elyoya chased out. They want to take him out, just so that he can't contest this Baron. The Soul will be Team Secret Wales. 30 minutes in, 4.5K ahead. A Cloud Soul at their backs in this MasterCard priceless moment of the game.
And Team Secret Wales would get the Soul by keeping the heart of their composition alive. It's Eddie every single time who is having the protection of his life in these fights. And every time MKOI try to make a play, it just does not work.
Histo flashing the white flag here as they're going to claim the Baron. We said these were the moments they're going to have to nail, and they nailed it. Histo himself, he targeted Supa and pushed Supa kind of up to the other side of the fight, which allowed the rest of TSW to focus on Jojo and take down that Ori.
There's also this ward in the Razorbeak pit where Dyer gets a TP behind Jojo Pyun.
Yeah, and also then the big ultimate coming through from Dyer, and again, it's Eddie who's able to reposition on towards the back half of the fight. That makes it so difficult for MKOI to actually get access to it.
Yeah, I love it. Eddie looking to use aggressively flash in so he can follow up and kill this Orianna very quickly. Him just working so well with Taki there on the other side of the fight and taking out basically the biggest threat that they're facing at the moment so quickly just made it look really easy for TSW.
And what a start to this series for Team Secret Wales, beating VKS on day one, losing to Katie, losing to Fly. I think a lot of people wondered whether the VKS best of one was just a flash in the pan. Here they come out 5,500 gold ahead at the 32-minute mark, a Soul at their backs, a Baron at their backs, a 5,500 gold lead on Eddie, who's played this Yunara 3 times and has about a 21 KDA on it, because he doesn't tend to die. And it's just incredible stuff from the LCP number 2 seed.
The LCP demanding respect at Worlds 2025, and they are getting it.
And it's funny to see because it was MKOI who wanted to face off against CFO, but they can't even get through the first part of LCP to get to the raid boss on the other side as Team Secret Wales stepping forward now. They want to go for this bot lane turret and then deny access from MKOI to that structure.
They'll be able to do it. Team Secret Wales dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Histo dives in a little deep here. Concussive Blows comes out, but a good Mikhails from Taki will cleanse away that stun. Still the Guardian Angel on Histo's shoulders. With Galio pushing in the mid lane, Team Secret Wales want to try and crash these 2 waves at the same time, but they don't quite align them as well as they would like.
Rabadon's death cap now completed for Jojo Kyun though, so if they can find that fight, there is the burst damage behind Jojo to try and take them across the finish line. But Team Secret Wales have played this excellently. They really just have not given a chance for Eddie to get caught out whatsoever. And even now, still having the barriers, still having the support that he needs, it feels so difficult for MKOI to find that fight.
Yeah, that's why it's so critical for TSW to get the Baron buff. This allows them to just destroy these towers without a lot of effort.
Pillar goes down, it's like he's down to half HP. Histo going in as well. The tower is going to fall. Unstoppable Onslaught will find the knockup onto Elyoya. Chase comes in with a hero's entrance. Jojo pinned the target. He manages to flash out. Taki going back in for the re-engage. Eddie goes legendary as Team Secret Wales just slowly roll their way through the MKOI base.
There's just nothing MKOI can do. Team Secret Wales, the beefcakes are out in full force, and it's Supa who's already at half HP.
Yeah, Eddie is just untouched on this backline. Histo still has the Guardian Angel. He's going to dive forward once again. Hun goes down underneath the towers, but he's actually still alive somehow as Dyer dives back in with the Justice Punch. Supa forced away towards the top side. Eddie's still standing. Elyoya and Supa trying to defend against Team Secret Wales here. And they might be able to do it with the Baron falling off. Reset's going to come out from Dyer. He does have his teleport. Eddie's flash about to come off. Cooldown has the barrier as well. Supa pots a barrier of his own. The pillar goes down. Eddie out of tower range just in time as Dyer now TP's back in. Alvaro is going to come back from the fountain. Supa trying to heal up before his Nexus towers go down. The Unbreakable used to block the shots. Josh's punch in with the taunt. Supa coming in with the Gatling gun, but he can't get onto that backline. Eddie is low. MKOI know it. They have to kill this AD carry, but they just can't get through.
Team Secret Wales don't die!
Secret Wales. It's beautiful from TSW. Elyoya, the last man standing, but Eddie kites him like an absolute madman. TSW 1-0 up.
What a game here from TSW. We thought it was going to be 4 beef balls and 1 threat. Turned out to be 5 threats, I feel like. Histo, really good game on the Jarvan. It felt like ever since they lost the 2v2 in mid lane, they then just took over the rest.
Yeah, and it felt like there was just absolutely no way for them to try and get back into it, but I think I want to toss it over to the analyst to break that.
The Rakan flanks, the engage looks intense from MKOI, so Merwin kind of being a real team player here, locking in the Ornn for them.
And I think that's where if you're a Team Secret Wales, you are looking to play through these exceptionally strong side lanes. The Renekton should have control in the early stages, same with this Caitlyn Nico, and that's where you can try and set up this early game through plays, through being able to dictate the pace around the map, and honestly, prevent Qiyana from going from invades. It's one of the things Qiyana likes to do is get into the face of the enemy jungler, see if she can find these picks, but if you are losing control on those side lanes, and as we get to the mid game on the mid wave thanks to this Caitlyn, finding those plays becomes a little bit more difficult for the for Elyoya's Qiyana.
He is very experienced on it, even if it's not something we've seen him play too much recently. 10-2 all-time on this Qiyana. When he came into the league, he was this explosive jungler. Alongside Razork, they were the new kids on the block who really liked to play through that early game. For MKOI, they need some of that magic from Elyoya, this guy that has been with the team for so many years, has made 5 worlds in a row, has gone through trials and tribulations, rebuilt the team in 2024 around him, added Jojo in this year. For MKOI, you're looking at a long road back into Worlds. For Team Secret Wales, you're looking at 2-2. You're looking at knocking out MKOI once again from that LCP region as we get into game 2.
I see a support up in top lane. Taki here gonna sweep out the lane swap ward. See if they do any sort of resets here. You see the recall channeling start here from Supa. Now they're kind of guessing.
I think it's a great fake though. They send the support topside and look at the resets coming through from Memkoi. They want to try and match now the Ezreal into that topside, but Caitlyn is stuck around the bottom lane. And the bot side is much weaker when it comes towards holding out. It's one of the changes that we had to try and stop these lane swaps. So it means Ezreal now going to have a hard time pushing, harder time taking tower, and the Caitlyn is still down here into a great matchup.
Caitlyn will be picking up a lot of drops from those plates in the early game. And a reminder that drops are active all worlds long. So be sure to log into your accounts at lolesports.com for a chance at earning some digital loot. Can't promise you extra gold in your games, but there are, emotes and such that you can pick up. So we see Daya and Jojo Pyun matching up in this mid lane. The Cassio into Ryze, a counter we've seen for quite a while. Idea that you can chase him down, the Twin Fangs healing as well, working out quite well for you. But hasn't always worked as effectively as people tell me it does on paper.
Yeah, and Miasma pretty good for later into this comp as well. Sometimes you can be a champion that punishes Xin quite well on top of that. Jojo, of course, plays this matchup super aggressively, always looking for the early, combat power there. Ezreal versus Renekton, though, Supa should be able to get some early harassment down and push Pun back. He's doing a good job landing the Mystic shots here, applying that aggression versus the range versus melee matchup on the top side. Same thing down here, trying to soak, though, Alvaro and Merwin. See if they can scrape together any sort of CS for him.
At the moment, though, as you say, it's going to be Eddie just able to hit her alongside Taki onto the turrets, and this is going to work out fairly well for themselves as they can just continue to whittle this down. And in this position, this is kind of what you want for your Caitlyn, where she can just snowball off of the goal she's going to pick up early, and also open up potential invades on these next camp spawning if you want to for the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, going to see how much the payment is going to be for the bot side turret plates. And as you say, since Xin is finishing on the bottom side, you also have to worry about how low you're getting as far as the dive. So even though you are Ornn, are a tank, don't want to get too low here, and every little bit of extra harassment. We are going to see the Rakan move from Alvaro, of course, towards mid lane.
Jumps onto Daya, who flashes away immediately. Gleaming Quill for a little bit of healing there onto Jojo.
Nico did end up taking the cannon minion here, so I wonder if Team Secret Wales are setting up for a dive onto Mirwin in this bottom side. He's gone incredibly low, and again, you have that opportunity to turn into that cannon minion and tank that turret for days. It looks like that's exactly what Team Secret Wales want to try and do now.
He's going to build himself a cloth armor with that passive. Plate almost down. Taki stepping forward, looking for the blooming burst damage. Doesn't quite connect. Histo coming in. Mirwin beginning to back off. Has popped a potion. As that Doran shield as well, while in the mid lane, the catch. It's Qiyana with Burst Blood. Elyoya will get it. The dive on the bot side, it's enough. Great tanking from Taki with the cannon. Good spot there, Dagda.
Yeah, really nice job on the bottom side, but Mkoi able to fight back in the mid lane, playing around the lockdown from Jojo Pyun and an early kill for Elyoya. At least it's something back for Mkoi.
Yep, getting some gold back there is going to be a very, very slight lead over to TSW, almost negligible. It's going to be about where the goal did go, and Xin getting kill credit and Qiyana getting kill credit. If you see a Qiyana get early lethality items here, that can be devastating. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, it looks like, though, actually, it's another little bit of a lead to Elyoya, thanks to being able to get both Scuttle Crabs as well. Now moving back in towards jungle, he clears his bottom side, will reset and be able to move back into his top side as it starts to respawn. So for Elyoya, nice little lead, and should have, as you say, Kobe, that nice back for himself so we can spend some of that for gold.
Does mean, of course, Ryze no flash for a long time as well. And if Jojo can continue to pressure in mid lane, well, looks like we might have junglers meeting up at the Raptor attempt.
Histo not going to go for the Razor.
Not seen.
Instead going towards that mid lane. Jojo doesn't have the flash. Daya doesn't have one either. Histo looking for the Q3 knock up here. We'll be able to get the chase continues with that Rune Prison and overload and auto needed. Histo takes it. Red buff. The buff that secures it there for Team Secret Wales.
Nice counter there. Histo gets back in towards mid lane to even up a bit. I mean, the offensively blown flashes can be punished just as much as the defensively blown ones.
And this is the problem with Elyoya sticking out on the map so long. He hasn't actually got to reset to match the early back, so didn't have the damage when it came towards matching that gank in the mid lane. Really nice timing window from Histo.
Yeah, Histo a little bit behind on the camps because of it, and Elyoya keeping up the farm, but doing that work and actually getting the kill credit does mean the gold will be close.
Pun hits 6 here, chasing Mirwin out of that top side. Has about a 15 CS lead as he's holding that wave. He's actually just tanking the tower. With Mirwin not being level 6, there's no threat of a Call of the Forge God. You still have Flash as well for Pun, and by holding that wave where it is, it's going to push slowly towards Pun.
Yeah, and since Pun has his level 6, the Renekton all-in is really threatening. Even though you get low, Renekton is below 50%, then you get a lot of this extra Fury generation, and you're even more threatening. So pull the wave a little bit.
Mirwin does have the Bramble Vest, though.
Flash away from Mirwin. As you say, Mirwin did build that Bramble Vest, but it's a flash for Flash and the ultimate out of Pun.
Good play there from Pun, getting the flash, denying more CS. Really like the use of this extra level advantage.
And for Mirwin, using the Bellows Breath there, which is your ability to avoid the Ruthless Predator stun right in the face of the guy that wants to jump in as Jojo is the target. Petrifying Gaze will get the stun onto Diamond. Taki doesn't really have the damage to follow up. So in the end, Jojo just uses his ultimate and is able to slither his way away. I
mean, that's a huge Petrifying ult to keep himself safe, but also a nice ultimate to burn at these early stages, especially looking at things like Dragon up. You've got that Void Grubs that are about to spawn as well. I think Jojo Pyun should have his ultimate back up in time, but still, I like this proactivity from Team Secret Wells in the early stages.
Pun arriving in time for the minion wave as well, collects it even with the slow traveling teleport, gets there with open arms, and so this is working out so well for TSW. I mean, sending Taki in the level 1 up top side with the sweeper to sweep out the lane swap detection ward, making MKOI guess, resulting in the early game lead for themselves. The other thing that has been a big contributing factor to that lead, of course, have been the movements from Taki on the Neeko and applying the extra pressure towards mid lane to put the balance back the other way.
Leads across the board for Team Secret Wells. 700 gold between that Renekton and Ornn. 400 between the AD carries, and Eddie, most of that is just off taking plates. You can see the CS is equal. Obviously there's an extra assist for Eddie, but he's in such a strong position to just push super back using that serrated dirt. Grub started by TSW as they force MKOI back into their jungle.
Elyoya having that supreme display of talent though could be massive at some of these objective fights, and that's realistically what you're trying to wait on for this jungler, so then you can actually be a focus in these fights. Jojo still trying to trade against Dire, but Team Secret Wales push on top, happily taking these Void Grubs with a little contest coming through here.
This is so big for TSW. If you get all three, I mean, the split push with the Rise later on is going to be a very potent tool.
And the Caitlyn right now.
And the Renekton right now.
And immediately. With all of the turret plate money that they have been able to earn, looks like they will be able to continue it. I mean, Caitlyn plus Neeko is going to be threatening no matter where it is on the map.
TSW will be really happy with how this early game's gone. With five players who are so young. The new generation of the LCP showing up so well here at this Worlds, constantly putting the pressure onto MKOI. And I did wonder with the addition of Pun in this series whether or not they'd have the same impact that they can have with Hero, but they are constantly putting the pressure down, and Pun has had a really good series so far.
Yeah, especially his side lane play here. His part in the lane swaps, you know, controlling these minion waves, applying that extra pressure to Mirwin has resulted in their biggest advantage.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect Team Secret Wales with the way they're playing to be so many rookies when it comes to appearances on a world stage. Like, Taki's the only one that's been here, but his toe has looked absolutely fantastic. Eddie is popping off, and it feels incredible to see these guys perform at the level that I think a lot of people are often surprised by when you see like newer teams coming up from the LCP region.
I think it's one of those things where you just have to reframe your expectations around the LCP. CFO have proven it to us at First Stand, they've proven it to us at MSI, and now Team Secret Wales are proving it's not just a one-team region either. The entirety of the LCP continues to level up.
Look at this flank. Pun is behind Supa at the moment. Does get the cleanse out. Just going to end at that, though.
Taki looking for a flank here. No vision for MKOI in their red side jungle. There's a ward in that tri-bush, but Elyoya, he's flanked. Histo stepping forward. They don't know Taki's here. Pop Blossom. The Blast Cone available. Supreme Display of Talent will get the double stun, and the Blast Cone out by Elyoya gets him to safety.
But it keeps everyone topside for Team Secret Wales, and Mirwin, he's all on his lonesome. No wave will be his saving grace here. Team Secret Wells won't be able to look for the dive, but that wave is coming, and Mirwin, I think you got to try and get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, TSW hard winning both side lanes at the moment because you just had Pun on the bottom side also pushing out the Ezreal, and so they just continue their onslaught on the towers. Even if you don't go for dives, go for kills, you get guaranteed money here. Value from the grubs, value from these turret plates.
And I think the only thing that Team Secret Wells aren't getting that I would like to see them to get is the Dragons. Like, it is still sitting there. We're 11 minutes into the game. That could be a way for you to force fights a little bit earlier in the game, because Cassiopeia scaling is insane. This Ornn going to add a lot of help in that later portion of the game as well, but still, they're getting so much gold.
Call of the Forge got used by Mirwin just to clear out the wave here. Doesn't kill off all the minions, though. There's a couple of casters still there. Histo diving in onto Mirwin, who does have the flash. Ace in the hole is going to connect onto him, and Histo looks for the chase. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Pun surviving. As no dive materializes for MKOI. A kill, and what will be a tower for Team Secret Wales on the top side.
Patience from Histo on the knock-up was crucial there. Waited for the Bellows Breath to come in with Mirwin trying to time it, and ends up catching him the second that Flame Breath is gone. And now Eddie, we talked about it, this pushing Caitlyn with those 3 Void Grubs getting work done in the side lanes.
Meanwhile, Pun on the bottom side, nice job from him as well. He ults, he dodges the Rakan knock-up, just clears out the wave, is able to hold on the bottom side. So the payment is the Dragon. MKOI, though, very far down in gold, and they return to this bottom side.
Something I love about Team Secret Wales as well is like now they're 2,500 gold ahead, 12 minutes in. They lost to a KT comp that did a very similar thing to what they're doing right now. They lost to Docdam's Caitlyn. They just got pushed out of every lane in the early game. Here, we haven't seen Caitlyn for Eddie at all this summer. And now they've adapted, they picked it up, and they said, okay, we can do that too. We can learn, we can grow here at Worlds.
And when you try and put a stop to this Caitlyn, it's a Ghost Flash Caitlyn. So a lot of mobility here to try and avoid this engage that we really highlighted in Champ Select for MKOI. And we'll see if Eddie can be a big player in this game as well.
And it's a very similar story to what we saw in the last game, where you have a lot of beefy boys, or maybe not so much, but that can sit in front of you and just deny access to this Caitlyn. Like Taki, you got Histo with the ultimate, same when you look at Pun.
I love that when their wave is a cannon wave and my wave isn't.
Odd.
Very suspicious.
Look, I'm not going to say you should definitely always know what's happening there, because I've seen enough pro players not understand what's happening.
Free cannon, nice.
Extra gold.
My lucky day.
Free cannon.
Bottom side, though, yeah, still going to be able to defend, still going to be able to hold it here. And we're going to see the continued push from TSW. Now we're going to have a possible rotation over towards mid lane, but the long extended lane on top side, too, should be Pun favored. He's got his Black Cleaver done, so Renekton can continue to get the early push.
Pun with a 2-level lead over Mirwin, pops the Dominus and looks for the chase. Slice and dice forward, Mirwin having to use the flash to get away. Do it, Pun! Carl the weak! Pun finds it, now he's going to get collapsed on by the rest of MKOI with a TP coming in, but they have to invest so much to kill off this Croc.
It's about sending that message, you know. He has domination in the side lane, gets the kill on Merwin, invests his flash to do it as well.
But it's completely worth, because look at the bot side. You've got the Ryzes pushing in there, you've the Caitlyn that's shoved in mid, and because MKOI, everyone went to go and deal with the Croc, the rest of Team Secret Wales are succeeding.
100%. It's about keeping up the pressure on all sides of the map at once. So if they teleport up there, if they try and trap you after you go for your kill, there will be further payment across the map. And this is solo tower gold to a Ryze.
And now if you're MKOI, you're looking at this 14.5 minutes in, 3,000 gold in the hole, a 2-level disadvantage in the top side. The enemy AD carry, although slightly behind in XP, is 1,000 gold ahead as well. You're preying on mistakes. That's what you have to do here as MKOI. You're praying you can somehow get to 3 items, maybe to 4 on this Cassio, on this Ezreal, and then get those ornaments starting to come out. Because right now, Team Secret Wales are running the map.
But it's MKOI who will be kicking themselves for their own mistakes. This was a team that over the course of the whole year wanted to grow. We're talking about how at each international they made it to, they were learning, they were trying to find new ways to approach their style of gameplay, but it was supposed to culminate in Worlds. And that's just not what we're getting to see right now for MKOI. Sitting here, already a game down. in a valley when it comes to this game, and now they've got to find a miracle at this Rift Herald.
They're kind of trapping themselves inside the river. That's a very dangerous predicament to put yourselves in at the moment. Rise has teleport, and so TSW can apply pressure just by waiting. Have Rise continue to push out on bottom side. They chase MKOI out of the river, out of the dangerous spot, and they will be able to take it.
Yep, they just force MKOI out. They have total vision control around here to Team Secret Wealth, and they'll take the Herald 16 minutes in. Next Drake a minute away. Let's see if Team Secret Wales want to go for that. I expect this Herald to be used around the mid-tier 1 just to crack open that entirety of the tier 1 towers from MKOI.
Yeah, especially when the Dragon is about to spawn, and if MKOI even try and contest, it's your mid-tower gone, potentially a tier 2 gone, and suddenly this map becomes a little bit less likely for MKOI to be able to enter it. It's Team Secret Wales with such a commanding chokehold on this game. You can see Alvaro trying to set up this deep vision, but does get spotted out. Looking for a pick, looking for a moment, but it looks like he might actually find himself caught a little bit. Doesn't look like Team Secret Wales are interested in the bird though.
And he chunked out a little bit with that True Shot Barrage coming out from Super, but he is in a fine position with the Collector completed. Pun trading onto Mirin once again. Black Cleaver complete helps a huge amount getting through the Chain Vest and the Bramble Vest on Mirwin. Rift Herald being put down as the Dragon does come up, so we'll try and see if TSW decide to go for the all-out push through mid, or if this is just about Prio, making sure you get a charge in and then gain control of the bot side river.
Yep, guarantee the charge here. And again, if they can move Eddie into the river early to set down the trap line, that's hugely beneficial for the approach to Dragon. But he's currently pushing out that mid wave, kind of catching it from the 3 members of MKOI. So it's going to be a bit of a retake situation. MKOI grabbing the Scuttle Crab first.
Yeah, ideally you would have liked to have trapped MKOI before they can get out of their own jungle in this choke point right here, but MKOI retreating super.
Swar can shift across the wall there, was holding onto it for a long time. Team Secret Wales will regain control of the bot side river. MKOI trying to step back up, trying to get a little bit of vision control for themselves. That Nico clone doing a lot of work as it disappears out of the bush. And this is a little more tentative than I would like from TSW. I think they're in a stronger position than perhaps they are playing right now. But I can also understand trying to avoid the quickness and the supreme display of talent combination that can come out from MKOI.
The only thing I can imagine is that Eddie's incredibly close to his Infinity Edge, and I think they might be waiting for him to try and finish that, which is why he's getting so much of this farm in the mid lane. So he's going for the reset now. I think he's just about to finish it, and then they can look for it. But it has given a window now for MKOI to actually be able to play for it, and the interrupt as well. This should be Dragon here for MKOI.
Yeah, also TSW aren't the ones, trying to focus on stacking the Dragons for this game. They want to play side lanes here and then index heavily into gold. MKOI, as you say, are going to be able to pick up number 2. And we'll see about the pressure applied in the side lanes by Pun as well as Dire on the top side. Pun is fine with 2 low damage champions on his side of the map. A Rakan and an Ornn in no world ever take down that Renekton.
I don't think he's too worried. It's the Infinity Edge there for Eddie, so we're waiting for that. Taki looking for the flank onto Super, who has the cleanse and doesn't use it even though he's rooted. And the ace in the hole will take him down to about half HP, or 2/3.
But Team Secret Wales are setting up their highway through that topside jungle, which is trying to focus on this mid lane tower. And you can see everyone in MKOI, they're trying to look for the cross map, knowing that their mid lane tower is about to go down. But this only opens up the potential shift onto mid turret into top turret.
I think that is indicative of the most impressive thing I've noticed with Team Secret Wales over the last couple of days. Their willingness to step back on a side lane. Dire now beginning to step back up as he tries to clear out the wave. Elyoya waited, Miasma down, Petrifying Gaze coming out as well. This is Supreme Display talent, and that's a caster curse if I've ever heard one. TP comes out from Pun, but his mid lane is already dead. Alvaro trying to get away, cleanses out, and the wind becomes lightning slow.
Yeah, good attack on the side lane there from MKOI, trying to take down one of the pushing prongs of this team. Rise had backed off. Dire was like, all right, I'm weak side. I know, I got to back off for a little bit. But Elyoya kept up with the play, stayed down there. So once Dire returns to the tower, they do get their dive off. Their mid lane, of course, the outer tower went down pretty early, and the secondary one sustained a little bit of damage. But MKOI kind of riding the line at the moment.
I do think there is a window now where MKOI can just say, right, we're hands off on the Dragons and we are just going to collect waves and side lanes. Like 2 items now for Jojo Pyun. He will be very strong as he starts to approach his third. And you've still got this Ornn You're starting to hit points for Supa. Like, this is a game that is very much in control of Team Secret Wales, but the late game is incredibly strong if MKOI can find their fights.
The team fighting from this team has the potential to be explosive. Again, the engagement we highlighted in Champion Select is there. The burst damage from Qiyana. Well, the burst damage from Caitlyn. Actually.
Right, Infinity Edge, get the ace in the hole down as well. Elyoya forced all the way back. About 30% HP. I will note MKOI about 21 petals to 9 here. With the outgun being started by Dire, but I don't really think he's looking for it. We saw this similarly in game 1 as Taki's caught out a little bit.
Well, I do kind of
walk away. True Shot Barrage comes out. Taki's almost down. Ooh, the Mystic Shot blocked. He goes just wide. Call of the Forge God. Taki flashes. Crescent Guard used by Histo as well. He has a blast going to get out, and he will utilize that escape tool.
Ooh, what can MKOI do with this timer? They know they've forced out the Nico, but it looks like not going to get hasty with it.
But that's bizarre. Like, honestly, at this point, you should be looking for something. Like, Pun should not be able to clear out that top wave. You could be putting pressure onto Atakan, but instead MKOI kind of sitting on their laurels and saying, hey, we're just happy to farm up. I think this was a moment where MKOI could have got something back for themselves.
I wonder if the risk of how quickly Team Secret Wales can get back to the Atakan is always there. You've got the Realm Warp, the Rise. Like, Histo had stayed around so he can always steal. Pun still has his Dominus. I agree with you. Like, you want to see MKOI, if you're a European fan, looking at that moment and saying, what can we get out of this? But in the end, just a couple of waves were their prize.
And they're looking for their scaling to continue. One more stack for the Rod of Ages for JoJo. Ornn gonna start upgrading some items fairly soon as well, so they're definitely invested in the long term.
Jumping forward here with MKOI trying to control the vision around a soon-to-be spawning Scuttle Crab. I'll try and take that for Elyoya, who's been able to keep up with farm on this Qiyana.
Good interrupt, honestly, because TSW, again, they need to leverage the split push. Keep your Rise applying pressure on the opposite side of the map from the Otacon. So keep the split push up. He's got his teleport. They can threaten trap plays.
So jumps onto Alvaro. Elyoya on that front line. TP coming behind from the Rise here. Crescent Guard, super interplay talent coming out as well as Histo dives onto Alvaro. Pop Blossom not finding anyone. A 3-man petrifying gaze as JoJo begins to turn on the Twin Fangs. Dire on the flank. MKOI 5v4 in their favor as Dire begins to walk away with that phase rush. Super having to flash out. Call of the Forge God coming out as well. Ace in the hole. Not blocked. Super down. The sniper finds his man as Eddie gets 1. But Team Secret Wales have lost 2 in the fight. 3 so far, in fact, as we see Pun falling. Elyoya, Alvaro, and JoJo on the chase. Dire all on his lonesome, caught out by MKOI. They'll find a 4-for-1 somehow.
And now they will get the Otacon. MKOI fight their way out of it. TSW, they called their play. They teleport the Rise in, but MKOI fight it out through the river, and they're going to get the rewards.
And this is where it's now terrifying, because MKOI are winning fights, and they've got the dragons, but it's this play as Taki tries to go for the setup here, but Elyoya ends up getting the play. Now watch JoJo, as Team Secret Wales goes for the turn, gets this huge flash, petrifying gaze, which prevents Team Secret Wales from doing anything. Eddie's now too low to really follow up, and even though it's Dire and Pun on the flanks, sure, they end up picking off Supa thanks to long-range Caitlyn ultimate, but JoJo is running amok in this fight, and he's the damage dealer that MKOI have.
And Alvaro with some big setup work there as well on the Rakan, locking them up. Charm, knock-up combo. MKOI, see what they can do afterwards, because that basically deleted the gold lead there in addition to all those petals they already had. Medic, now those are empowered petals.
The one thing, though, is that at least Team Secret Wales, as we were watching the replay, did get the dragon. So at least preventing that from going across to MKOI and a third dragon going across. So it will be a little bit of time before MKOI can stack that. But again, this is what we're talking about. MKOI's late game is nothing to sniff at. And now they're starting to find fights. They're getting gold onto JoJo, who is a very, very scary carry. And I think for Team Secret Wales, not quite yet, but they are certainly starting to go onto the back foot.
JoJo at 3 items, 2,500 gold ahead, has the upgraded Rylai Scepter via those Ornn upgrades. And for Team Secret Wales, you're looking at like 2,500 gold that just evaporated in a single team fight. do still have the tools. You still have a big Caitlyn, 3 items on him. You still have Ryze trying to scale up, but it becomes trickier and trickier as this game goes on.
And that's the key. It is hard to operate in the side lanes. It is hard to operate, pushing and overextending because of the range of MKOI's engage that can come at you from so many angles. With Rakan as well as Ornn, it is very dangerous on the map for them. So MKOI, I feel like they just have way more useful tools in the game now looking forward. Since we're past 25 minutes, their team fight is insane. Their ability to pick you off.
Elioya jumping in with the Audacity. Dire's going to try and get out with the Realm Warp here, but the quickness and the miasma for the grounded effect. MKOI find their man in the side lane with the TP coming in. The wave not quite in the position for MKOI to go for an immediate dive. Team Secret Wales looking to bolster the defenses down towards this bottom side, but MKOI don't have to go for anything more. Oracle's out of Pun, slices away from the grand entrance.
More about pushing Pun away from that bot side tower so they can pick up that gold, but MKOI end up getting the kill and a summoner spell from Pun as well. That is perfect now. Taki and Eddie.
Forge Guard onto Eddie. Super, look at the Essence Block, the knock-up coming in as well as Super and Mirwin team up to take down the Kate.
It was looking dire for MKOI, but by some miracle they're finding the fights that they need. And maybe, just maybe, they can push us to that game number 3.
Rakan engage on the bottom side, Ornn engage in the mid lane, and MKOI are stacked now. Multiple Ornn upgrades coming through. Elioya got his as well. Their team fight is insane. So if they just camp out here, they can continue to force TSW into these scary situations. And you're going to have to get some like miracle engage from Taki, on Nico, dream proto belt flash play from him or something. It is a 3-item, Caitlyn, with the crit multipliers here. So maybe some rapid fire poke does come through. But just past the 25 minutes, it doesn't seem like they're really able to keep up with this side lane pressure or anything for them.
Pun gonna step forward here. Mirwin waiting for him. Gets the knock at Miasma down as well. No slice, no dice. Ooh. And there's the petrifying gaze. Pun stares into the eyes of Jojo, who takes down his name in his book.
Pick after pick after pick. MKOI feels like the game is theirs for the taking now.
And you have the Baron sitting there waiting. They're going to try and start it up. Dire will need to TP in to try and stop this, but Jojo, he shreds this thing.
Absolutely melts it. Elioya and Alvaro there too. Super trying to see if anyone comes in. Looks like Team Secret Wales have given up the Ghost on the Baron. Instead, they'll try and take a tier 2 on the bot side, and they should be able to secure it with Eddie coming across to help out Dire.
I like this response from Super. It doesn't actually go towards the Baron. Instead, he goes towards the top turret, answering tit for tat plus the Baron now in favor of MKOI. And this is exactly what they need to just keep this ball rolling 50 seconds until that potential 3rd dragon for MKOI.
Redemption used by Alvaro as well to try and keep people around. You can see MKOI just looking for the knockups. Oh, Realm Warp avoids the call of the Forge Guard, but MKOI still have 3 players in that mid lane. We'll take another tier 2 off this push.
What far do they want to chase, though? You can see Alvaro is still looking to interrupt these resets, and Jojo and Elioya could also try and collapse onto the bottom side.
Eddie's still here. He's still trying to get onto Super. Doesn't really have the defenses. Jojo stepping forward with that miasma once again. The Crescent Guard down, TP coming out as Mirwin looks to help out his team. Supreme Decided Talent not going to get any stuns. Team Secret Wales on the back foot. The Mystic Shot's not enough to take down Pun, but now with the tower pushing in, with the minions pushing into the tower, in fact, that will be an inhibit tower in the mid lane. Eddie trying to flank, not something you often see a Caitlyn do. Looking for the hunt, Elioya chases him and Eddie gets him! The shutdown, Elioya tried to make a fancy play with his flash. Now a TP behind by Team Secret Wales.
It's going absolutely disastrously for MKOI and Team Secret Wales. They're turning into sharks as they're seeking and hunting for MKOI. But the mistakes were there, and now Super
watches in the Mystic Shot wide as Ezzy dances away from it. In the end, Team Secret Wales will just settle for the Drake.
Oh man, Eddie is the TSW hope. This guy is sitting MKOI down and keeping TSW in the game. That brush play on the side where they kept Dire, he canceled his recall, stayed in the brush, and then flashed onto Alvaro.
Taki steals the blue away as well.
And the thing was, Alvaro gave his life on that bottom side, as actually Super needs to be careful, but gave his life on the bottom side to stop the resets from Eddie and Dire, so MKOI could all in with 4 members onto the play underneath the inhibitor turret. But when they couldn't find the play, and Eddie then gets Elioya, it opens up Team Secret Wales perfectly to get back onto the map and steal that crucial dragon away.
Really nice sequence of Team Secret Wales after the fact as well. They stole away the blue with Histo, and they managed to secure their own with Tucky, so they'll be very happy to not give a blue buff over to either this Cassio or this Ezreal, who are obviously so reliant on having that mana.
Yeah, that is actually truly massive. You know, in the late game when it goes to everybody as well. Now, we're seeing them push top again. We've got Renekton with teleport ready, and Pun is trying to split push.
Quickness, supreme display of talent, and the true shot barrage is a two-shot barrage. As MKOI find a couple of kills, they're going to chase onto Eddie as well, who's able to avoid the edge of the knock-up there from MKOI. Realm Warp out by Dire. Looking to try and get someone to that backline. Pun needs to get back quickly because MKOI are knocking on the Nexus to even out this series.
Yeah, is that going to be it with the Baron buff? MKOI can push in.
There's so little left here for Team Secret Wales. MKOI see their moment to push us to game number 3.
Pun, Dire, and Eddie. Dire straights for them in this game. Can they defend? Pun goes in, dodges away with the slice and the dice. Pun chipped away at an MKOI are gonna back away. 12 seconds on Histo. Taki back up. Makes it a 4v5 in MKOI's favor, but it will just turn their attentions back towards the jungle.
Yeah, the Red Bull Baron power play was next to nothing for MKOI, and as it fades, they don't have the survivability on their minions to close out that game. It's nice picks, but Team Secret Wales hold on to fight one more time.
Okay, teleport out to the top side to keep up the pressure here. You know, that's the lone inhibitor still remaining for TSW is the top side one. So MKOI, they reset, they immediately can reapply that pressure. Super minions doing their work in mid and bottom. Looks like Elyoya has another item completion as well. So they'll be slightly delayed on him to join the rest of the push.
He'll be able to come back out now, but with that Edge of Night complete, makes it much trickier to catch him out. 10-2 on this Qiyana all time, looking to make it 11. Zhonya's Void Staff, Seraph's Rylai's Rod of Ages, Dark Seal. 10 stacks on the last two, as Jojo is in an incredibly powerful position on this Cass. No boots, of course, just in case you were wondering.
He's still stomping though, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I was very curious.
So MKOI just denying vision around this jungle, going to take away as much gold as possible in the form of these camps. Elyoya waiting down towards the bottom side of mid to see if he can find a flank position. He's he's not, he's in the bush as that warding trinket does go down. With 2 waves of supers pushing in, you can see a couple of question mark pings coming out from Team Secret Wales. They're aware. They're like, hey, we can't step up easily here.
So I'm pretty sure they did spot Elyoya. That blue ward does give a vision around it, even if you are in the bush. So they were putting question mark pings onto Elyoya, but they're not going to push it anyway. They just need to try and hold on to anything that they can. But MKOI en masse now on this top side turret. And it's up to Mirwin to escort this minion wave in.
You can see MKOI actually delaying this. Mirwin waiting to get those last hits on the opposing minions, so the bot wave and the mid waves line up with it properly. Pun trying to defend, but he backs away. The inhibitor tower will go down. MKOI doing this by the numbers. 3 inhibitor towers, 3 inhibitors, and now a last chance defense for Team Secret Wales.
They're trying desperately here. Can they do it though? MKOI knocking on the door, and Team Secret Wales,
it's a back away into Baron angle. It's a back away into Baron angle. With the miasma coming down, MKOI lose one of their tools in the fight, so they will turn their attentions over towards this team-wide Baron buff.
Yeah, honestly, this is an elimination series. It's an elimination game for MKOI, so they are taking no chances at messing up the final push. They're going to retreat and draw TSW even more difficult situation here, trying to walk towards an Ornn Rakan into a Baron. I mean, it's truly, truly dangerous here for TSW. They kind of just have to full send.
They need to find something. MKOI are the big bad wolf at the door, and we're trying to find out what Team Secret Wales house is made of, because that Baron buff is going to make it so easy for them to huff and puff and blow it over.
Baron begun by MKOI, and as soon as you see Dire stopping his recall on the bot side, you know Team Secret Wales are not going to challenge for this. MKOI get the Baron. We'll see if this Red Bull Baron power play is slightly more advantageous for them than the last. The inhibitors in every lane down for at least a minute more. Mid spawns first, then bot, then top. And MKOI will look to end the game in that next minute.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet you that this Baron power play includes a Nexus destruction for MKOI.
Oh, I'm surprised you put the 4 MKOI in there.
Yeah, I was like,
it could do. You never know as MKOI push in with these super minions. Team Secret Wales trying to defend. Flash, Petrifying Gaze into the Quickness Crescent Guard with a good knockback out. The Pop Blossom coming out as well, but Histo's already down. And MKOI all still incredibly healthy. Elyoya diving in for a triple to his name. Pun on the fountain will find one. A Quadra. In fact, Super gets the last. But MKOI will even out the series 1-1.
MKOI found the fights that they needed to bring that game back, to keep themselves at World 2025 and give themselves another chance here.
One more game to decide your year. Analysts, how are you feeling?
A little bit better, Kobe, about the chances of Movistar KOI at least, and about the fact that they recovered the game, which actually did not start off in a dream way.
They enjoy the ability to get, Neferi's invulnerabilities out, that core of the pack. She has to eviscerate away at a hover of the LeBlanc, but it's going to be Ahri for Jojopian, something he's so experienced on.
Yeah, that's what we were mentioning, because the ult buff on the patch as well. We're maybe thinking of seeing a little bit more of it, but as we get into the Fearless matches, we really get to it, and now you're going to be able to see him on one of the champions that he definitely was well known for.
And also just so incredibly strong in enabling these ganks towards the mid lane, trying to shut down the Aurora in the early stages and get Elyoya rolling. And this has kind of been the story of, hey, Alvaro working with Elyoya, playing towards that mid lane for so long in the LEC. Now they have to see if they can do it against Team Secret Wales, but Histo has been fantastic in working with Taki in their own right, in being able to play towards Dire, shut down any aggression in that game. We've even saw it in the start of game number 1, or sorry, over the course of the series in game 2, and now we just have to see if they can find that success here again.
Here we are, do or die for Team Secret Wales and for MKOI. Elimination or elation as the coaches Bonfils and take themselves off the stage. It's all down to those 10 players loading into Summoner's Rift to see who goes through to 2-2 and plays in a couple of days' time, and who takes the flight home. For MKOI, it's all about vengeance. 3 times in a row, they have lost to an LCP team at internationals. PSG, GAM, CFO have all defeated them. Now Team Secret Wales just 1 game away from taking their spot in that 2-2 slot, and looking to prove that that LCP is not just the Flying Oysters.
And MKOI also said on Euphoria that they wanted to play against CFO, they wanted to right some of the wrongs from MSI, but the fact that here against Team Secret Wales, they may not even get past the finish line, I think would be incredibly disappointing for the fans, for the organization, for the players. And now they have to see if they can find that moment in Game 3 to bring them just one more day along.
Breaking some of the tension here with some friendly emo game.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. And the elimination game for each of them, still feeling very good.
I feel like there's an initiation ceremony for top laners that no one else knows about, where they go in, it's like, okay, this is where you go, and this is how much you can emote, and at this exact time you have to leave, and that's the rules, okay?
Unless you're Broken Blade against Mirwin, where you use that, and then 5 members come out of a bush and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The little bait and switch, you know?
No such dirty tactics in this game, though. We've got honorable top laners this time around.
Dire will get the ward across the wall here onto those Razorbeaks. Foxfire out of Jojopian, both of them running that Electrocute, but Dire on the right side of the trades as Jojo already has popped a potion.
Yeah, Jojo on his most played champion of his career of all time, the Ahri here, in such a clutch match. We'll see if that ends up being a deciding factor. Jungler starting on opposite sides here, so we do have Histo pathing towards his Jace lane, towards his pushing top lane. Isolated matchup up there. Meanwhile, Elyoya pathing bottom side, as is so frequent for MKOI. They really do need their bottom lane to be in good condition.
And I think it makes sense, as you say, like Histo wants to be able to get up, get some deep vision in that top side, and just enable this Jace to play through the strength of the lane. I don't really think we'll see much in the way of dives, but just in allowing Hero to play as aggressive as possible is all you really want in that top lane.
Yeah, and for the MKOI side, of course, Elyoya wants, Supa wants this Xayah to be multiple items here, to be able to really carry this game. So far this series, it has not been the best for Supa, and they really are going to need him to do some work in this game, this final deciding one. Of course, Elyoya is on a champion. He can output some very respectable damage himself. We'll see if he can carry some of that damage too.
I think often dependent on the build. Sorry, for Elyoya. For Jojo. I thought you said Jojo instead of Elyoya. So I was going to say it's depending on the build for the Ahri, how much damage she puts out, because sometimes you see those slightly tankier Ahri builds, but Elyoya, as you say, will definitely put out quite a bit of DPS on that Neferi if he's able to get onto this backline, because there's always the risk. You jump in with a Hound's Pursuit, immediately you get stunned up with a Shudder Daybreak, you have Cease and Desist, you have Solar Flare to follow up, and you just don't get an opportunity to move as you dive in towards that backline. Hero with a slight lead over Mirwin on the top side, as to be expected in the ranged into melee matchup, using that ranged form to get the grasp stacks off. And Histo and Elyoya on opposite sides of the map should both just take their own scuttlegrounds.
Mirren does have to be careful about how aggressive he trades here, because there is a jungler on the top side of the map, and that wave will crash, and I think this is the signal for Histo to go, but
Mirren
maybe...
going in, look for the 1v1, and Topos goes in with the Pathmaker and just claps him! Smacks him between his and Topos. Histo will get one in response. In the end, Team Secret Wales will be happy with the extra assist goal.
And he puts up the emote at the end that says, I hate junglers. he gets his solo kill first, though, before the arrival of the jungler. In the end, of course, the extra assist on the kill does mean the extra 50% gold for the team. But Merwin here on his K'Sante, you were talking about it already.
And the fact that you managed to get the early chain vest is so nice, because it's a tier purchase and some boots on the opposite side. Not really something that will try and push the lane forward, but it's a really nice job. I'm assuming Jump Yet to the minion that had gone forward, and then uses that W to make sure they can get the auto attack. And the flip comes through, but Mirwin, he already got the job done. Really nicely played.
I actually really like using the Pathmaker instead of the Q3 there. It feels like the anticipation from Hero is I will look for the Q3 animation and then flash. But as soon as Pathmaker comes out, it's much more tricky to dodge away. As Dyer hits the weirding onto Jojo, but with the way he pushed in, Jojo should just be able to get a recall off. Has gone for an early Ruby Crystal. We'll see where that build ends up going on the Ahri, and Hero still winning out the trades on top side.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he'd try and go for the early Bramble Vest, to be honest, just because it is nice into some of these matchups where at least you're able to trade back effectively when you are getting auto attack down, some damage is going back. But the early chain vest is still incredibly nice. Again, you scale so well with resistances on K'Sante, plus the fact you're just not going to get hit for as much is going to be nice, although Mirren is struggling a little bit as he gets back to late.
Yeah, we'll see once again, because both junglers, again, re-clearing to opposite sides of the map, so the pressure is always going to remain. Jace just teleports right back up there, you know, after the deaths, kind of shrugs it off, gets back to pushing, back to harassing you. Meanwhile, is going to be traded for the pressure on the other side. Ooh, had to use the smite at the end. Stings a little bit, but not the biggest issue here, and we're still going to get the return.
Mirwin is level 6, has his flash, as does Hero, both of them holding on to it from that first fight. Histo looking for the flank position. Shock Blast going to hit onto this K'Sante. Histo going in. Mirwin forces him away. Vault Breaker out with the plate over to Hero as Mkoy secure the Drake.
It's a nice play from Histo, even if he doesn't get the kill, as you say, just putting that pressure down, keeping Hero safe, and trying to abuse the matchup in its entirety, even getting this Cuddle Crab on that top side, but bot lane.
The dive in with the Zenith Blade. Blade Caller coming out from Super to get the root onto Eddie. Heal was used by Taki in exchange for the cleanse from Super. Taki still looking for a little bit more here as he goes forward with the Oracles, just forcing Super and Alvaro away. Meanwhile, on the top side, Dyer looking for the dive. Another Zenith Blade onto Alvaro, but Elyoya's on his way. Doesn't have the 6 yet. Alvaro flashing away. Cleanse flash out by Taki, with the dive in with the Eviscerate. Meanwhile, on the top side, Histo and Dyer look for more. Taki low, gets away. No! Elyoya gets him in the end. Super just surviving. Mirwin down to 300 HP as the dive materializes for Team Secret Wales. Mirwin looking for that all out. Pops the Pathmaker into the Vault Breaker. Hero flashes in. Will tank 2 tower shots though. And he's slain by the tower. Mirwin unable to proc an auto on him means that Team Secret Wales get out with a kill and not giving up any gold to Mirwin.
Yeah, no one else was taking right there. And in the end, it is answered on the other side. This is the kind of fun that you get when you have opposite side jungle paths. We did have Jojo stay mid though, so the Ahri passively wins out by staying mid and pushing. His tempo is a little bit messed up there with the interrupt on the recall, but he did get the guaranteed push of the extra minion wave of the tower plate in mid too.
But that's why I was kind of surprised to see Eddie and Taki go for the fight on bot side. They were going for the dive on top, knew they were on the weak side, but still wanted to take the trade, and then as a result, they end up giving that kill across, so it could have been a bigger win for Team Secret Wales if the the bot lane and just kind of played it passively.
Yeah, hey, Supa barely living too there on the edge.
Mirren going all out. Hero doesn't have flash, and Mirren's just going to chase him down with the Intopos. Gets it after the Q3. Zenithblade from Taki missing towards that top side. Mirren very happy in this 1v1.
Yeah, Merwin says, welcome to the series, Hero. Puts him down again on the K'Sante. And that is going to be pretty big repercussions because there's no teleport for TSW to answer that. So Merwin gets to push the full wave into the tower on bottom side.
And this is why this man is so terrifying on this pick. He consistently seems to be able to find these moments where he can find the solo kill, get massive tempo leads for himself, and open up windows crucially for MKOI to find success in side lanes, even after he's just gone down. And now Histo, happy that he's able to pick up at least two of those Koi grubs.
Takes two of the grubs, could have taken three, but decides to leave the third one as Elyoya's looking to try and steal away as much of this jungle as possible. There is a red buff if he can get any deeper, but Histo comes across, and with that last scrub being left up, I wonder if that's maybe just a strategic play.
I think it was just to try and protect his bot side jungle and make sure that it wasn't going to be completely stolen away by Elyoya.
Yeah, 100%, because Dyer saw Elyoya, and so they had vision on him, and Dyer was trying to keep him there, but Naafiri is pretty slippery, so Elyoya is able to get out.
Now Histo pathing up towards the top side, looking for the fight against Supa and Alvaro. Taki has been chucking out those Zenith Blades on repeat. Shattering Strike, Solar Flare. Featherstorm still available for Supa, doesn't use it yet. Histo still looking for that dive. Alvaro down to about 2/3 HP, and as soon as the ward comes across the wall, Histo backs away.
Supa not really budging there at all. Doesn't use the Featherstorm, the flash either to get away. Knows that it's only going to be the slow that hits, and that was the reason they didn't go for it, but now bot lane.
Hero stepping forward, doesn't have the flash. Elyoya's on the chase. Darking Daggers don't connect, and it doesn't want to go in with that Hound's Pursuit.
Yeah, wave is still in a terrible spot for Hero. Looks like K'Sante is just going to delete the wave anyways, though, as Histo will now return to finish the work that he started earlier.
Nice interrupt there from Alvaro on to the reset from the Kai'Sa. Actually interrupts it again, so Eddie going to be very late on the reset. Dragon in 55 seconds, and I think that should give that push now on the bot lane to Supa, so then you can actually transition over first towards that Dragon.
For the moment, Alvaro just getting a little bit of vision around this blue buff. Red buff still available for Histo, who has been stealing away as much of Elyoya's jungle as possible. You can actually see Histo has 4 camps up, and Elyoya only has 1. There's only his wolves for him right now, as Histo will be able to garner a little bit of a lead. Next Drake up in 30 seconds time. And we'll see if MKOI want to force.
They're ganking bottom.
There's a gank happening bot side. Featherstorm still available for Supa here. But the flank from Taki, cleanse immediately. There's the exhaust going down now. Elyoya and Alvaro on their way across. Supa uses the Featherstorm. Does have to burn his cleanse and that ultimate to get out.
That Featherstorm was perfect though. The Zenith Blade and the immediate ult was coming from Taki, and the fact that you managed to just barely dodge both is the only reason Supa was able to escape away from those.
Yeah, no Kai'Sa ult and no Leona ult now on the side of TSW, and the Dragon just spawned. Looks like we're still getting resets anyways, as Elyoya does have the full Sojin done, so nice power spike there for the Naafiri. This really does boost the champion's damage here. The second Q, especially with the execution damage on it, so he's going to head right back out towards the Dragon side of the map.
You kind of feel the tension between these two teams. Like, game 1 was a kill a minute, game 2 a little bit slower. Now we're at 5 kills in 11 minutes, basically halved from the speed that we were playing in game 1. They both know their tournament lives on the line as Elyoya will start up this Cloud Drake. They have push in bot, and the wave in mid has already been cleared out. So it should be an easy enough Dragon here for MKOI. Will be their second of the game.
It's Mirwin who needs to be careful though. This entire series, Team Secret Whale has been so good with the cross maps, but Mirwin backing right the way off, making sure he's not going to be under any threat on that top side. And it will be MKOI able to pick up the objective with no real answer from Team Secret Whales.
Okay, a lot of pings going down on this Xayah that has no ult, no cleanse at the moment, but I think Supa should be safe either way. And he gets a little nervous, has no vision around him, so backs off and pays respects, goes for his reset, no problem.
Has to do it now. Without the Featherstorm, without the cleanse, you need to just be that little bit more cautious, as Alvaro Putting a bit of vision towards the top side. We'll spot Histo jumping across the wall here. Alvaro could look for an engage into Shattering Strike, and he will use it. Flash Shattering Strike into the charm. Cease and desist used perfectly to buffer out of that charm. Bolt Breaker out as well. Perfectly played by Histo, but there still might be too many MKOI members surrounding him and getting the kill. TP in by Taki, no mana at the moment on Jojo. Accelerating Shock Blast coming out from Hero as they go in with a Hound's Pursuit. And now this Jace is in the middle of MKOI. Alvaro using that Magnustorm into a great crash down, but Dire's here to bolster the defenses. Super coming across from the side. Alvaro falling low, will be taken out by a Weirding. Hero able to escape. Taki going back in with the Zenith Blade. Super flashing forward with the Blade Caller, but now the rest of his team are nowhere to be found. Team Secret Wales find 2.
Eddie arrives and he collects the extra money. The Kraken Slayer was just done on the Kai'Sa. That Kai'Sa as well, after driving by, grabbing the kill, as Jojo lands another charm, by the way, hitting all 3 charms, although the first one was a really nice buffer from his toe. Regardless, though, the Kai'Sa coming in at the end and collecting a lot of money is very good prospects for TSW, with them being a very dive-oriented composition with at least 4 of the members.
And it looked like maybe MKOI would be able to play this one out. They managed to get Histo, but as Kobe said, the buffer was perfect. They chased down Histo, and then at this stage they realized, hang on, no, we need to try and back away. We don't have the members in the position that we want to, especially with Hero coming down. But watch the charm. Interrupts the crash down from Hero, and Alvaro and MKOI are still trying to play this one out. But this Kai'Sa has ran the entire way from bot lane, whereas you've got the K'Sante who's still in base. So more members of Team Secret Wales can jump in the mid lane.
Jojo caught out, doesn't have the flash, no Spirit Rush for him either, and Eddie gets his second. Alvaro a little bit off to the side here, we'll be able to crash down away from it, but now Eddie 900 gold ahead of his opposite man.
Eddie, I swear, this guy is the hope for TSW every single game. And it's going to be no different this time around on the Kai'Sa. Now 2 kills to his name.
Team Secret Wales now 1.3k ahead, 30 seconds on the Herald. You see the reset coming out from Taki. He's already completed his redemption, whereas Alvaro does not have that tool in his arsenal. So MKOI much more likely to play down towards this bottom side, give up the top side pressure, and you can see Elioyo coming across. There's the TP in, redemption already onto Hero. Hound's Pursuit coming down as well as Mirwin looks for the Q3, but Hero's topped up by that redemption, still taken out by Jojo, who came in with that teleport. Dire here to try and defend the tower and will manage to do so. Dire jumping forward, will just back away.
There's so many members of MKOI here, though. They're still trying to fish. Dire needs to be a little bit careful. Jojo's starting to step forward, but it looks like they will just back away. Is Histo able to get the Rift Herald?
Yeah, once again, TSW still with the gold lead, but stacking dragons for MKOI, and they are making a couple of pick plays for themselves. You see in the aftermath as well, important to lay behind the super deep warding. Right now, Alvaro is lighting up this red quadrant of the jungle as the second red buff is going to spawn. And we're only a minute and 30 seconds away from the dragon, so already preemptively laying the groundwork to continue the dragon stacking for MKOI.
Already have 2 to their name. No Feat of Warfare claimed, Feat of Strength claimed by either team as of yet. 2 objectives to 1. First 3 kills were hit by MKOI, so either the next objective or the tower for MKOI will be enough.
I am curious how aggressive MKOI want to get at this next dragon, though. Rod of Ages only just completed, a single stack for Jojo. Your Nefiri isn't really hitting on all cylinders at this stage, and same with Azaya. She really wants some sort of attack speed item before she commits to any sort of fights. I think the power spikes here on Team Secret Wales off of a singular item are just significantly stronger, so I like MKOI trying to play away from the objective, look to get gold in their favor and see if they can find picks rather than going toe-to-toe in the team fights.
Smart play from Hero just to back away from that tower. Knew that Alvaro was in the area, could kind of expect that Elioyo was in the area. Team Secret Wales should be able to take the first tower. No wave here for MKOI, means that TSW will get that first turret on the board.
Okay, it's gonna come down to the last objective then.
Yep. Next Drake, 20 seconds away. And at the moment, MKOI not in the position to really fight around it. You can see MKOI trying to deny as many of these minions as possible by letting the towers hit them before they are felled by Jojo in the end. Now, Jojo doesn't have his teleport, nor does Mirwin. There's no TPs on the side of TSW either, but at the moment, they're the ones with more players towards this dragon side of the map.
They also have the Rift Herald. I think Team Secret Wales, again, the one item spikes much stronger. Position on the map was in a much better position. So MKOI happy to just call it and say we won't take this fight. Instead, we'll look to push in, put some pressure onto this topside jungle, some pressure onto the tier 2, and if Team Secret Wales over-index into protecting the tier 2, we can always fall back and try and take this mid turret instead.
Yeah, and they're kind of fishing around the jungle as well. Taki here, pretty tanky on Leona, trying to deny like big cross-map play. MKOI in the end get a couple of jungle camps, and
Shadowing Strike immediately, they dive onto Taki, and the Eclipse is not enough to save him! The Redemption not down in time, he does land the Solar Flare, Spirit Rush, dive in with a killing streak from Eddie as well, but Elioya's on the chase, trying to take down that Kai'Sa, and the Darking Daggers will be enough! The Hounds of Hell from Elioya for the double! MKOI collapse!
Alvaro consistently interrupted the follow-up from Team Secret Wales as the pick on Taki that might have just blown this game open in favor of MKOI.
huge error from TSW. Why did they dive in on that after Taki got caught? Vi ultimate and Kai'Sa ultimate. You saw Eddie immediately regretted it. He flashes out afterwards. But MKOI, they get even more than they wanted out of this. They steal the blue buff, get their kill on the Leona, and then here, you know, he ults in. Immediately, Eddie tries to flash away, but Elioya is on him.
And it's the veteran of Team Secret Wales that is caught. The man who's been leading this group of youngsters to this international stage that may have just cost them, as now once more stepping up towards Mirren, just wants to try and get some vision back. And MKOI, they're looking for more picks.
Trying to catch our hero, who's not had a great game. Shadowing the stun coming down there from Alvaro with the Shadowing Strike. Crash down as well. Hero forced down to about a third HP as Jojo should be able to gain control over this wave. 4 stacks on his Rod of Ages. Horizon Focus completed. 2 items now on Eddie, though, who is only 300 gold behind his opposite man. Eddie, really where you hang your hat now if you're Team Secret Wales, it feels.
Especially because even though you don't get the kill, forcing the reset here from Hero means that you can put pressure on the spot lane turret and deny Histo from actually using this Rift Herald. It is still sitting in his back pocket, but hasn't found a good timing window to put it down yet.
MKOI, they just control the map now. I mean, applying pressure in both side lanes and the safety to control mid, since there's no tower there for TSW already. Feels like they can just complete the circle, grab your last outer tower, further increase this gold lead on Jojo's Ahri, and really put the threat of further picks onto TSW, get right back on track for that dragon stacking, only 2.5 minutes away from the arrival of the mountain.
MKOI will be very happy with where the gold has landed for them as a team. Elioya being 3-0-2, Black Cleaver, Spear complete, Jojo being ahead as well. Is still going to start up this Artican. You can see Dyer looking for a little bit of a flank as he moves towards that mid lane, but Team Secret Wales will be forced off the objective for now.
It's a bluff, it feels like, from Secret Wales, wanting to see if they can get Jojo Pyun to TP, maybe use some of that pressure of the elimination game to force errors from MKOI. There is the Rift Herald, though. And not really many members on this top side for MKOI, so it looks like he should be able to get this top lane turret.
Try and charge in towards it. Can use it as an escape tool as well. Riftherald will be able to get that charge in. Mirren here to defend, but he can't do anything about Riftherald actually managing to take down that tower. Team Secret Wales, they use it, they get gold out of it. Obviously would have liked the mid lane tower a little bit more, but you got to take what you can get when you are 3k gold behind.
They were also pinging the wards that they knew were in their own jungle, having seen Jojo Pyun just reset, so I think a little bit wary of a potential TP flank from the Ahri, and happy enough to just get some of that gold and not, as you say, overextend and maybe throw that game away.
And Jojo, with this tanky build, you know, the early rod stacking up, yeah, but also the mid game, just Verdant Barrier by itself as a little component provides so much value versus a team that has Vi and Leona on it. Very, very high value spells to block with that thing. So Jojo, not only is he rich on his most played champion of his career, but he's also in a very, very good spot itemized here to make some aggressive picks and position pretty deep into the jungle. You see MKOI right now trying to move up a little bit into the defensive vision that TSW have set.
You're sneaking forward here with that Oracles will deny any knowledge of where he is. Histo's going to go on towards the Wolves. Team Secret Wales as a 3-man squad defending their own jungle. Alvaro looking for something here as Elioya backs away. His dogs will take that shot blast. Jojo looking for a flank as well onto Eddie. You get that cleanse out of him before a fight begins. Be very happy, but with no pressure, Bot Hero moves across and covers his AD carry.
We're starting to see the work that MKOI put in over the course of summer coming to fruition, playing through that 1-3-1 with moving JoJo back and forth between these lanes, fishing for picks, and it's a slow, patient game from MKOI at the moment. We'll have to see if Team Secret Wales can find a way to break this. Dire hovering just out of vision, hoping to find that pick.
Yeah, man, it is crazy hard because you're like, all right, we're a dive comp. Should we go for Neferi? No, W is up. All right, let's not go for Neferi. That one's hard. Should we go for Ahri? Well, she has a spell shield and ultimate ready. Okay, should we go for Xayah? Well, Xayah has cleanse splash and ult, so.
Oh, you're saying K'Sante.
Yeah. This like, what target do you dive with this dive comp? I think MKOI just they have just set themselves up with all of the answers here to TSW, and so good job getting their Dragon Soul point there. TSW are forced into this kind of like desperate, I feel like, Otacon pull.
Yeah, that's what they're going to go for, and MKOI actually pushing Dire out of his blue side jungle. The Otacon already down to 8,000 HP as MKOI look to see if the fight is viable. Mirwin on the flank, Redemption coming down. Alvaro with a 3-man Magnet Storm, and it's Super that takes the Otacon. Hop goes the Devi, and the rest of his team follows suit. MKOI looking for vengeance against the LCP as they take down 4. Dire unallowed to escape. It's an ace for MKOI.
Movistar Koi will keep their world's dreams alive as they march down the mid towards the base of Team Secret Wales.
They got a bunch of Otacon flowers, and they will put those flowers at the graves of TSW. Triple stun on the crash down from Alvaro, and they just wipe them off the map.
Alvaro has been so crucial to MKOI when it comes to these team fights, when it comes to the engages all year long, and once again, he is stepping up for MKOI on the international stage, pushing Team Secret Wales back.
Don't care about Otacon, play for fights.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, get them
Didn't care
both.
about Otacon, as actually we see a catch coming out, all out coming out from Mirwin as he looks to escape from Taki and hits though. Hero coming in as well, Mirwin. Very tanky. You can see the damage from Super in that last fight. I will say, it's easy enough to pull the feathers back through everyone when they're CC'd for a year and a half. Credit to Alvaro, he's the one that set it up.
Yeah, Q flash crash down.
I mean, when he's doing 2.5k damage in the fight in his own right, I think it's pretty good.
Redemption bolstering up those numbers. the aggro Redemption. JoJo with the charm onto Dire. Should be able to jump out of this. We'll go across the veil, try to get back towards his tower, but the tower isn't even safe as JoJo just dives in and Dire dies.
Yeah, that's about all you need to say for that one. Right in his face, just destroys him under tower. And TSW, they were already up against the wall. They were already desperate with the last play. Now even more so, trying to just go out fighting.
As 2.5 minutes until that's all they need is.
Flash forward into the cease and desist, and they find Super! A perfect play by Team Secret Wales in the mid lane. Go down fighting, you say. They're not sure about the go down part yet, Kobe.
Well, they need Baron to go down if they hope to hold on to this, and they need to start it up immediately. You can see everyone in MKOI is running as quick as they can to try and answer for the play.
Baron begun by Team Secret Wales. MKOI looking to collapse. Dire still in base, doesn't have TP. He's running as fast as his legs can carry him to join his team. Currently a 4v4 as Alvaro looks for the flank position. Elioya going in with the Darking Daggers. Dire trying to flank from the bottom side of the fight. Alvaro's here though. Crash down, Magnusoul finds 2, hand pursuit in. Elioya's already killed off the enemy jungler, and Eddie is next on the menu. These hounds are hungry, and the pursuit goes on to Taki. A triple for Elioya.
The captain of MKOI picks up the triple kill on the back of it, and MKOI, despite losing Super, will hold on to the fight and take the Baron for themselves.
All right, MKOI looking like they are going to survive here at Worlds and wrap up this series. Dire and JoJo once again as Dire is forced to flee.
MKOI now 8,000 gold ahead. They will secure the Baron. They have 2 waves pushing in. But Team Secret Wales, the shot is another catch. It's another pick onto Super. It's another great engage from Hitsto.
And that's what people love about this team. They never just sit back and lose. They're always going to look to still make the aggressive play. And the flash from Histo to reduce the amount of time that Supa had to react to that was great. Then, of course, you're still in a tough situation.
As Jojo maybe called out a little bit, TP is coming in from Team Secret Wales. Histo still looking for that cease and desist. Volt Breaker forward, the charm will stop in TP behind as well by Mirwin. Jojo Pyun's going to be the first target. Solar Flare's going to follow up. Mirwin looking for that flank TP. Jojo will fall first. The shutdown goes over to Taki, but Elyoya's on that backline once again. It's Histo and Taki trying to survive through Elyoya. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Dyer just gets assassinated by Supa and Mirwin. Taki trying to get away from Elyoya, but he continues to chase forward with that call of the pack, and Taki's done for. Hero, full HP, wasn't really in this battle at all. MKOI will take 3, only losing their mid laner.
Team Secret Wales will find the Ari, but Jose Pyun has already done his job for MKOI. He has been fantastic all series long, and he bought enough time for MKOI to jump down to that bottom side, get the kills, and now it's Mountain Soul for an already beefy MKOI.
Another fight, another bunch of gold for MKOI, and they're going to lay destruction to the towers afterwards.
Mirwin diving in with the all-out onto Hero, who's just deleted by the feathers. Supa at that 3-item point on this Xayah. Histo trying to steal away everything he can, trying to get any gold in his back pockets, but currently 12,000 gold advantage for MKOI as they push through the bot side.
They're going to continue to keep up this pressure. The split push is incredibly strong right now with this Baron buff, and Team Secret Wales are spread thin. I honestly don't know how they get through Mirwin at this stage.
Histo going to jump onto Elyoya, who does tank a couple of tower shots. He dives back in with that Eviscerate, but with the minions pushing in, Mirwin pushing through the bot side, Jojo about to join the rest of his team, and with Baron buff remaining for the next 50 seconds, this Red Bull Baron power play may include a 50 gold Nexus.
MKOI about to lay final siege to the Nexus turrets, and here comes the team.
Histo looking for that engage, the Magnus Storm from Alvaro diving in, Spirit Rush from Jojo just to escape. Histo down first. Taki the next target for MKOI. Supa trading with Dyer, who just gets back to the fountain in time. Meanwhile, Eddie doing everything he can, but he just can't survive through the wallet dip. It's vengeance for MKOI. They take down the LCP, and they go to 2-2.
MKOI find themselves now one series away from being able to make it to playoffs. The smiles on their faces, well earned, because that was a tough series.
Elyoya 10-0-8 on the Naafiri, ending the game deathless.
On a pick that has been up and down for him in the LEC, 4-3 on it all time, now 5-3 for MKOI. Melzet talked a lot about it this week. He said, look, I'm not going to give up as their coach, even if you're